Want that level of energy. All right. I need like 30 seconds.
Woo! Yay!
Woo!
Yay!
Hello, Dragon Con! How are y'all feeling on Sunday night? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Than it was on Tuesday.
good. We love that. Thank you all so much for being here. We are going to be sketching Shakespeare. I'm Steph Craniola. This is a swan named Emily all across the internet. We're so excited to have you here. A little bit about this track and the charity before we get started. The Dragon Con charity for 2024 is the Arthritis Foundation. The number one cause of disability is arthritis, and it affects nearly 2 million. Vito? 2 million?
2 million? Oh, 60.
2 million.
Million.
60 million. 60 million adults and hundreds of thousands of children. Dragon Con matches up to $125,000 of your donations. Last year we raised $272,000 for the 2023 charity. And I just want to say that if y'all were around this basement last night, you saw 1 full % of that $125,000 being raised by the Loodle Crew folks. Give them a big round of applause. They drew dirty things and they auctioned them off for the charity. They are so incredible, and Swan leads that charge and is my favorite person. Sorry, everyone else. So this is Sketching Shakespeare. We bring a Shakespeare speech or scene in this case, and Swan draws a comic version of it. Swan, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure. I'd love to. So I am not the Shakespeare person. I only read Shakespeare in high school and didn't vibe with it because it was hard. But what's been great about doing this is Steph will explain these scenes to me in a very approachable way. And the thing that I think the reason why Shakespeare is so evergreen is because the human interaction moments are what shine through. And that is what comics are. It is human interaction storytelling. And so all of these scenes, all of these conflicts can be set anywhere. So we now have the best way to play with this great language and this great conflict, and I can put it in any comic way that I want. And sequential illustration, sequential illustration is my favorite way to tell stories. I love being able to illustrate people talking to each other and doing silly stuff.
Yeah, for reference, a couple years ago, we did the Friends Romans Countryman speech. She made it chickens. So if that gives you a little insight into Swan's brain, we are in for something exciting tonight. So we are going to start with our scene, and I can't possibly read 7 characters all by myself, so I'm gonna need a little help. All right, so we are, for reference, I see you so excited. We are doing the mechanical play within the play from A Midsummer Night's Dream. We are going full chaos tonight. So I need someone, I need someone to read my actual favorite character in all of Shakespeare. Snout, the Tinker, I think he is, the Wall. Yeah. Anyone who is excited, I've seen people come in for like auditions with the wall speech, and I'm like, yes, amazing. All right, I need someone to be Starveling, the moon, the man in the moon. Yeah. I need someone to be a lion. Who's got a big lion roar? Yes. Now I need someone to be Nick Bottom. I know you. I was saving it. I saw your hand up. I was getting through it. I need someone to be sweet Francis Flute Thisbe. Yes, we love an excited flute. Okay, now these next couple roles, if you're not into standing up and moving around, that's totally fine. Oh, all of you who just grabbed papers, you're going to be doing this up live over here. But I do need that we all have sat through something and we have our little text chains out and we're talking shit to each other. We've all been there. Don't pretend you're better than me. We need the live version of that, our Theseus and Hippolyta. So I need two folks to be as snarky as they come. You can stay in your seat and just yell out maybe a little mean things. Don't worry, your fellow actors know that you're not actually mean. It's just acting. So we need a Theseus and we need a Hippolyta. Can I get two more folks who want to yes and yes? Amazing. Thank you all so much. Okay. So to set the stage for those of you who are anyone in here unfamiliar with A Midsummer Night's Dream? Yeah. All right. So A Midsummer Night's Dream has fairies, it has lovers, it has the boring stuff, right? The stuff that everyone's like, I want to be the lover or the whatever. The show is about 6 working folks in Athens who are trying to put on a gosh dang play. If anyone's ever been in theater, you know that it is difficult to put on a play in the best of times. It is especially difficult to put on a play when you got a bunch of ding-dongs trying to do it. So poor Peter Quince, who is not in this scene, is trying to pull everyone together. He's trying to make this play. Bottom is like, let me play the line too. We all know that person. I'll do every role. Let me do every role, please. We've got Sweet Thisbe, who is in Shakespearean conventions. All of the parts were played by men and boys, and so it's this young boy who has to play the leading lady, and he's very upset about that because he is growing a beard and trying to be a man. And then we've got our wall, our moon, and our lion, who are just happy to be there. They're all working men and they're all trying to get, a play done for the Duke. And all the Duke does is shit on them the whole time when they do it because they are not good. So let's get our mechanicals up. Let's give them a big round of applause. Now, y'all can feel free to use this space. There are some entrances and exits written in there so you can kind of have a seat, move up and down. Use your big voices for the room, and honestly, channel who's the worst actor you can think of. If anyone says Nick Cage, I will. Sarah Bago. No, don't be mean to my new friend. We'll go with Nick Cage.
Who was the guy in the room? Mark Tom.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
be that guy. Channel your most dramatic drama. Dram.
Yeah.
Channel your drama. Channel your biggest dramatic thing. I don't know. It's late and it's Sunday. Action. Woo!
I am that same law. The truth itself. And this, the granny is, bright and sinister, through which the fearful lies. Would you desire mine and hair to be better? Oh, grim look night, oh night with hue so black, oh night whichever art when day is not, oh night, oh night, oh I, oh I, oh
I fear my Thisbe's promises forgot, and thou, O wall, O sweet, O lovely wall, that stands between her father's ground and mine, thou wall, O sweet and loving wall. Thanks, courteous wall, doth shield thee well for this, but what I see, no Thisbe do I see. O wicked wall, though whom I see no bliss, cursed be thy stones for thus deceiving me. No, in truth, sir, he should not. Deceiving me is Thisbe's curse. She is to enter now, and I am to spy her through the wall. You shall see it will fall. Cat as I told you, yonder she comes.
Full often hast thou heard my moan, for parting my fair appearance and me, my cherry lips, thou often kissed thyself. Thy stone with lime and hair knit up in me.
I see a voice. Now will I to the wall to spy if I can hear my Thisbe's face.
My love, thou art my love, I think.
Oh, kiss me through the hole of this vile wall.
I kiss the wall whole, not your lips at all.
Will thou soon meet me straight away?
Tide life, tide death, I come without delay.
Thus have I, wall, my partner charged. So, and being done, this wall.
Ladies, you whose gentle hearts do fear the smallest monstrous mouse that creeps, may now perchance both quake and tremble. Here when lion rough and wildest rage doth roar, then know that I am Snug the Joiner, am a lion, nor else no lion down. For I should as lion come in strife into this place. Work pity on me.
All that I have to say is to tell you that the land prince is being by the man. It's not
This old ninny's tune. Where is my love?
sweet moon. I
I can do this all night.
Oh god.
Sweet moon, I thank thee for thy sunny beams. I thank thee, moon, for shining now so bright. For by thy gracious golden glittering gleams, I trust to take a truest Thisbe sight. But stay, oh spite! But mark, poor knight, what dreadful dole is here. I do you see? How can it be, oh dainty duck, oh dear? Thy mantle good, but stained with blood, approached you furies fell. Oh fates, come, cut thread and thrum. Quay nature didst thou lion's frame? Since lion vile hath here deflowered my dear, which is which was the fairest dame that lived, that loved, that liked, that looked with cheer. Come, tears confound, out sword and wound, the path of Pyramus I left, that left path, where heart doth hop. Thus die I, thus, now am I dead, now am I fled, my soul is in the sky, tongue loose thy light, moon take thy flight, now die,
Asleep, my love? Dead, my dove? Pyramid, arise! Speak! Quite dumb? Dead? A tomb must cover thy sweet eyes, these lily lips, these cherry nose, those yellow cowslip cheeks are gone! Lovers make moan, his eyes were green as leaves. Oh, sisters three, come to me. Tongue, not a word, come thrusty sword, come blade my breast and broom. I don't know if this is where my heart is. Do.
Amazing.
Incredible. Thank you all so much. Iconic. Better than any movie I've seen. Y'all, you can keep them if you want, or you can give them back for me to throw away. So what's gonna happen now is Swan is already hard at work, working on the comic version of what you just saw. So usually, if you've come to the show in years past, she has a big sketch pad that she'll do a whole comic page on. Today, she's doing separate panels to do kind of like bit by bit, scene by scene. So we're going to let her work on that a little bit. And through the rest of the hour, y'all can ask us any questions about Shakespeare or art that you have. And I guess I should have started with this. I do a podcast called Protest Too Much. And in that podcast, we do little matchups and best ofs and silly little competitions. So there are matchups, like 2 columns. So you could say, like, who would be the best TikToker? And you could pick that I have to argue that Hamlet would be the best TikToker. So on the episodes, it's me and a guest, and my guest gets to decide who they think would actually be the best. And they get to surprise me when the episode starts with who I think would be the best. So I have to come up with an argument for usually a terrible choice. But it's very fun and very silly, and y'all are gonna get the chance to kind of punk me with a matchup if you want. We've got these cards up here that give a couple suggestions, best TikTokers, the next doctor, who would be your best con buddy, and then a couple Shakespeare characters on the other column. Feel free to come up and grab one if you want some ideas, or if you have an idea yourself. A few folks have come up with some honestly frightening suggestions in years past. You can come up to the mic, give me that. I'll put a minute on the clock and do my best to argue. And again, you can do these matchups, or you can ask any questions about art and Shakespeare that you have.
Yes. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Long time caller. No, long time
I mean,
listener.
yes.
Also, yes. I want you to tell me why Iago would be the best shark on Shark Tank.
Oh, that's
Thank
actually
you.
that's really good. Iago would be an incredible shark on Shark Tank because he has this way of making you believe that he's being honest with you and then kind of not being that. And so I think that the sharks, a lot of times we see on this show that they're very they want you to succeed, right? They seem like they want you to succeed, but do they really want to pour millions of their own dollars or hundreds of thousands of their own dollars into something that they're pretty sure is going to fizzle out in like a week anyway? Probably not. So they do a really good job acting for the show to be interested in a lot of these products, when in reality, they're just looking for any excuse to say, I'm out. And I'm sorry, but there is no Shakespeare character who has a better I'm out than Iago. At the end of the play, everyone looks at him and they're like, Iago, what the hell? And he's like, I did it, I guess. I'm dying anyway. Peace out. And that's a minute. Let's do a timer. Maybe that'll work better. Yes, hello.
Also, longtime attendee of this panel. Can you do your best impression of Richard III during the I'm very mindful trend?
Oh my God. Yes. See how I had this man killed in wine? Very mindful, very demure. See how I locked my nephews up in a tower to make them die? Very mindful, very modest. See how I put the crown on my head to show a little bit of Chi-Chi, not the whole cha-cha? Very demure, very modest. I love you. Yes, hello. We're starting off strong tonight.
Along the same line, the friar from Romeo and Juliet doing the very mindful.
Oh, yes. See how I make my own little potions? Very demure, very mindful. See how I lie to everyone's parents? Very modest, very cutesy. See how I only tell everyone a little piece of the plan, not the whole plan? Very demure, very modest. It's a good thing I watched that video before I came here. Hello, David Tennant. Not to do so. Out in the hallway, if anyone has seen the Catherine Tate David Tennant Much Ado About Nothing, I saw this incredible human in the hallway, and I said, "Are you cosplaying David Tennant in Much Ado About Nothing?"
And I said, what?
I feel like I was there.
And then later Googled it and said yes.
Yeah. I'm claiming it now. Last year, second time attendee of this panel, and last year I don't remember what I asked, but I think it was something about Paris and drag queens, and we bonded over our mutual love for Paris.
And drag queen.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm back with another gay Perry question.
Great. Love it.
We have the three power pop girls: Chapel Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX. Which one of them does Paris stan, and why? The most, obviously all three, but the
Obviously
most.
all three. I really do think that Paris is a Chapel Roan girly. Because Paris is HOTTOGO. He is ready to rock and roll. He is coming to the party hot. He is coming to the party ready to woo. He's already trying to woo before we even start the play. And I think that like watching him in his little like roam before the ball, like hyping up to meet Juliet and do whatever it is he's doing. I think he's probably sitting in there like bopping, like whatever the Elizabethan. He's got a lute player in his room. Like he is doing the most.
Hey.
Hello.
I wanted to know which Shakespearean characters would make the best Olympic break dancers.
Great question. I am going to, oh my gosh. I am going to go with, there are so many overconfident men to choose from. So it's really hard. My brain is like filing them down into which one it would be. But I really think this is, part of me wants to say Orlando from As You Like It because he's like just himbo enough, but I don't think he has enough confidence to put himself out there. He's not like quite brazen enough. So we are going to go with, oh my gosh. Why are there no Shakespeare characters in my head right now? Oh, absolutely, gosh. No, Mercutio has better dance skills. Mercutio can actually dance. I guess good Olympic breakdancer or like ray gun Olympic
Or
breakdancer.
Australia.
Because honestly, I think that Tybalt would make a legitimately good breakdancer in secret. He would practice on his own. He would like be in his room and he would actually hit those moves. Anyone who's a really good fencer has rhythm and has like the ability to move their body in a good way. But I think in terms of the ray gun style, I'm gonna go. God, this our motto. Oh my God. Actually, like he thinks he can do anything. That's a great answer. Don Armato is a really good answer. I was trying not to say Benedict because it was like the only character in my head, but I don't think he's quite right for it. So I think Don Armato is perfect. Good work. Thank you for saving me.
So why would Don John be one of the most entertaining reality TV contestants?
Okay, putting a minute on the clock for that. Don John actually would be one of the most entertaining reality TV show contestants because we love a mystery. You have so many reality TV show contestants who are like, hooking up with everyone and I'm telling you all about it. But Don John is in the back secretly like hooking up with everyone and not telling anyone about it. And then you get like, he's got like the whatever the swoop up edit is, not the purple edit, but like the swoop up one where he at the end just like has one of those confessionals and he just like looks at the camera and he winks. And then it like that's his like star and America falls in love with him. I think that he would be he is not a man of very many words, but he is happy to be there. He hates everyone. He wants to do what he wants. And there's nothing better in a reality TV show contestant than someone entirely selfish and unwilling to share what those motivations are. Great.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
So if Regan, Goneril, and Cordelia got to go on like a sister's day out to the Eras tour, what would they wear?
Okay, this is a great question. I'm currently in King Lear playing Regan, which is a time. As a middle child myself, I am finding a lot of not similarities in Regan, but a lot of like inspiration. And I do have two sisters. I'm the middle of three girls, so like it's a lot. So if Regan, Goneril, and Cordelia went to the Eras tour, Cordelia would be in the like the little like the leotard skirt. Mike's gonna yell at me for not knowing more about Taylor Swift. But like the what is it? The Lovers area, 1984. The cutesy, very demure. 1989. Sorry,
That one too.
not the George Orwell. No, Taylor Swift and George Orwell.
No, that's Reputation.
Why would Taylor Swift? But I do think the one where she says Taylor can't come to the phone right now. She's dead. That one, Reputation. That's a real Regan move. Goneril, I think. What's the newest one? Tortured Poets. Absolutely Goneril, because Goneril has been dealing with this like childhood trauma of like basically having to raise her two sisters because Lear's a cranky old man. And so she would really be up until 3 a.m. listening to Tortured Poets over and over and over. So that would be her outfit. Yeah, Regan's yelling in leather or whatever it is that album wears. And then, of course, Cordelia is the Taylor.
I'll be the prettiest girl at the party.
Exactly. All right, speaking of Swan, let's take a second and check in with you.
Hello.
Hello. When you are taking a scene as chaotic as this and trying to put it on paper, where do you start? Like, where does that come from?
Okay, so I will say with this, it's a little bit different because I had amazing people get up and perform it for me. So you did a lot of the hard work for me. Thank you for that. That was so nice. If I was just taking a script and breaking it down, I would want to find the big hit moments. What is a moment that really is very, very important? What could maybe be glossed over? So there was this great moment between, I don't know the characters now, Wall and
Pyramus?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 We have our own language, so it's like Shakespeare.
Yes. And it's just this fun moment of plotting and thinking and having that interaction. So that's a nice moment. In comics, in an illustration like this, all of the dialogue will accompany it. So I just need a single image that kind of represents that whole scene. And what's exciting about translating Shakespeare is there's a ton of text. So I will be having that single image accompanying a ton of stuff and then jumping to another very big scene. So I'm trying to find those big hit moments. Also something that can speak for itself on its own. So even if you don't know the words that are being said, which is where I started in Shakespeare, I know the moment, I know the energy, I know the feeling that's happening between the characters, and I want that to translate on the page. So this is fun. I'm taking this a little bit differently than I would normally with that full page. And because I'm just capturing scenes, I get to pick and choose which ones I want to put on paper and then kind of assemble them. So, and it's something I love about comics in general, because you don't just have the standard comic book. You have single panels, you have 3 panel strips. You also have diary comics. You have a whole wall of text and then a single illustration, and all of it lives in that sequential illustration world. So it's a very fun way to bring that. So yeah.
It's so great already. I mean, I'm so stoked to see what these come out as.
Yeah.
Vito, I do hear we have a couple questions on Twitch, so if you want to funnel those in. Oh, it looks like Mike is doing great. Perfect. What do you got for me?
All right.
Trust me.
So, the 4 Ninja Turtles are dead.
No, wow. Wow.
Right. All right. Wow.
Donatello.
So,
Next question.
no. Mikey's being replaced by Puck.
Oh.
What I want to know is who replaces the other 3.
Okay, that's a really good question. Okay, so Mikey is being replaced by Puck. Raphael is definitely being replaced by a Don John, who's a bad villain. Who's like he's a bad villain. He's an evil villain. Don John is like a bad at being a villain. We need like one of those, like we'll go with Don John for now. Something else might strike, but someone who like really kind of wants to be part of it. He just wants his brother's attention. He just wants to be loved, maybe. Oh yeah, you need to get up here and run this panel. Like Caius Cassius from Julius Caesar, who just wants attention, my God, and just wants to be Brutus's boyfriend, and no one will let him. But he's so sulky and so broody. And he is leading a rebellion, so he's a perfect Raphael. Leonardo, the boring one, he's going to be the Benvolio of the group. You can substitute Benvolio with literally Camillo from The Winter's Tale. You can substitute him with Don Pedro has a little bit more agency. Claudio's too stupid for Leonardo. But that like Benvolio, that recap character, the one who comes in and is like, here's what you missed last act on Romeo and Juliet. This all happened. Yeah, he would be the voice of reason for everyone, the one who you're supposed to be like, yes, Benvolio, you're right. We probably shouldn't go to do this stupid thing. We shouldn't fight in the street because that might lead to someone dying. But nobody listens to him. Donatello. I love Donatello. Donatello is this is a deep cut and I'm sorry. Donatello is the doctor from Cymbeline. Because it's someone who likes putting things together, making little potions and concoctions and like having little like lab time by himself. But he's smart enough to know that the queen is evil as hell and like doesn't give her quite enough to make it work. So not only is he coming up with like inventions and stuff, he is smart enough to know who to give them to and when, and like a little bit of a trickster. I love Cymbeline. Cymbeline is my favorite Shakespeare play. That's a really fun question. I love them and I love Donatello the most.
Oh, I love Leo.
Yeah, that tracks. You and Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Boring one.
Yeah.
So this question is from BO by Kurt on both the Discord and the DC Digital Media Twitch stream. Kurt wants to know, and I think both of y'all can answer this probably. If Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy were in Midsummer, which characters would they play? That is Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy.
I could say Daisy's
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they didn't say her. Yeah, they're leaving her out of it. Okay, so Mickey, is Mickey is gonna be Mickey and Minnie are gonna be Oberon and Titania, but like Oberon's got to play up the like little bitchness of Oberon a little bit, like less on the kind of not a good guy scale and more on like a we're having a good time kind of thing. Minnie is calling the shots.
Yes.
She is in charge. Titania is in charge. She can throw a look at Mickey, and Mickey's like, oh, "You're right." So that's gonna be that. Donald is Peter Quince because he is just trying to keep things together. He's gonna flap his little duck bill when Bottom is going off doing whatever the heck Bottom is doing. I feel like the iconic Donald Duck is just frustrated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's gonna be Peter Quince.
And using up all my elixirs.
And then Goofy was the last one. Goofy is Lysander because he's stupid. I don't love Shakespeare's lovers, if you can tell. They're all stupid. That's a great question, Vio Beckert. Thank you for asking.
Thanks,
we miss you. We love you. Hello.
Hello. I would like to know why Falstaff would be the best Shakespearean character to manage a business.
Okay, so what you need to run a business, to manage a business, is you need to know who to hire. You need to know who to bring in. You need to know that you might not be the best person for every job. You maybe shouldn't touch the finances. You maybe shouldn't touch the inventory. You maybe shouldn't be making creative decisions. You maybe shouldn't be doing like the logistics and handling. But you know who to bring in to do those things for you. And that is something that Falstaff is actually excellent at, is knowing who to surround himself with to get himself out of trouble, to bail the business out when he needs to be, to manage all of the little things. You know, you send someone out to steal a bunch of money and the job gets done. You know, regardless of who actually steals from who and who re-steals and who lies about being attacked, the money is taken and they're much the richer for it. So because he knows who to put on his team, he's ready to go.
Thank you.
Great question. Yes, David Tennant.
We can ask Swan questions, right?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey Swan. What are there any currently running comics that you're like really jazzed about? And if not, like what are your general favorites?
Current favorite is also a great question. Thank you. I love the webtoon Lore Olympus. That's a huge favorite. I absolutely love that. I'm also going to shout out one that I am going to be putting on my pull list, and that's B-Side You by a creator in the audience who is very ashamed that I'm doing this right now. But yes, that is my next one. Favorite wise, I don't read a ton of superhero stuff anymore, but I was a huge fan of the Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel. I loved the Unstoppable Squirrel Girl, so I love a one that's gonna have a fun time with it. I was in early on Saga because it was incredibly irreverent, and I came for the art and I stayed for the insanity. I'm trying to think of other ones that I'm not currently reading any of the new ones because boy, there's a lot of them. But I've definitely found in more recent years, I am enjoying ones I find in Artist Alley and just independent indie artists because they get to tell whatever story they want. Derek Kurt Kim has Last Mermaid, I believe is the name of it, that's out right now. And it's this very cool square format with gorgeous artwork. And it's something totally different. And as much as, yeah, you know, buff dudes beating the sound out of each other, sure. But there's a lot of other really cool stuff out there. And so I enjoy that. And I am so driven by the art that if there's cool art, I will probably follow it. I got into a lot of the new Sandman stuff that came out. I'm trying to think anything else that I have on my desk right now. Oh, my buddy David is currently writing a book for Image called The Cabinet, and that is very cool. Also has incredible art, and I'm so ashamed because I cannot think of the artist names right now, but I know she's Italian, and she's amazing. But if you look up The Cabinet, that is super fun. So that's my big one. Yay!
I have a follow up to that.
Oh,
yeah.
sure. Oh,
Clap
boy.
for Swan. Do more clapping. Thank you. You mentioned the Kamala Khan comics,
Yes.
and I know that you are that you watch, like that you consume superhero stuff on TV. So what we've done is we've taken live action and distilled it into a comic here. I say we.
We did. You're here. It's
You're
me.
right. You're right. When it goes the other way, when it goes from a comic into an animated series or a live action series or something like that, what are some of the things that you watch out for that makes or breaks that series for you? That you're like, yes, that's a great adaptation of the comic, or ooh, don't love it.
Okay. Great question. I'm sorry, I have to stop drawing for this one because I don't think I can multitask with that. So I am a huge fan of each medium emphasizing what it does well. Comics emphasize you can sit with the art as much as you want. You can look for all the little details. You can have these moments. You can also have the most expansive universe ever, and you can have all of that. I don't necessarily need that in a TV show, but I can't do motion here. Everything is static. So I don't ever want to see just a panel for panel, shot by shot remake of the comic. I have the comic. I don't need that. I want you to do something with it. What is more? What is more on this page that is in this moment? How can you, much like with Shakespeare and why I enjoy it more now, what can you do with the scene? How you say these words, how you deliver them, where you choose to put the pauses in so that I can sit with the words you just said for a moment. Because I'll read comics and I will read through them so fast because I'm so excited to tear up the page. But with live action, you make me wait. You make me sit with that thing that just happened, this moment. And so a lot of these hit harder. We've talked about in previous years at this panel, the power of a page turn. So you've gotten to the bottom of the page and something big just happened. And then you turn the page and there's this huge reveal and you're hit with that. And that's what I want to see out of these adaptations. And I want, big ask, I want you to keep the spirit of the comic. Weird, which I mean, hey, you know, I didn't read the original comic when it came out, but the boys really did keep the spirit of the comic in whatever way that was. So there is a feeling there, and it's paying homage to the reference material. Does that answer the question?
No, that's a great,
Okay.
yeah. I just think it's really cool to like get to hear from someone who's consumed both a lot and like who does this. I think it's fun to get that perspective.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello. I saw this panel for the first time last year. I've absolutely fallen in love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are stuck with advice on how to break up with your romantic partner. Your only two options are Romeo and Hamlet. Who do you pick?
Here's the thing. Both of them end the play not in a relationship. So like we have a love interest
Solid
for both
takeaway.
of them at the start of their play. For Romeo, he starts in love with Rosaline. For Hamlet, he starts in some sort of relationship with Ophelia, up for interpretation. What that relationship is. And both of them are single by the end of the play. Both of them are single even before they die, technically, because Romeo's widowed. But you know,
Single.
single. So yeah, I think that they would both give me a lot of words to use to do that breakup, and there is so much power in the words that you choose to break up with someone. They don't have to like you after you break up with them. Like they don't. The point is to do a breakup, right? Like the point is to be broken up. We all say, "Oh, we want to stay friends." Shut up. We all want to stay friends. But like that's not gonna happen most of the time. So you might as well be direct and like use as many words as you can and send them on their way. Yes.
Fan cast William Shakespeare's The Tempest, starring Jim Henson's The Muppets.
Great question. Okay, so obviously Sam the Eagle is Prospero because he's cranky and like not really a guy. And then Miranda is going to be, hold on. List
That's what I
of
was thinking.
Muppets.
That's like you, Janice.
I do think that, okay. Gonzo is Ferdinand. Absolutely. And Camilla the chicken is Miranda. Okay, so who do we have? The Trinculo and Stefano are gonna be Fozzie Bear and We're gonna do Fozzie and Animal for Trinculo and Stefano because they're just pure chaos in this play. Who else is in the Tempest? We've got the Bad Duke, Antonio. No, yeah, Antonio. One of the Antonios, one of the Shakespeare Cinematic Universe gay Antonios because they all are beautiful and gay. We're gonna go with my knowledge of the Muppets is low, and that's embarrassing to admit. John Cleese is Ariel. Starts out living in a tree, ends up free. Causing a shitstorm wherever he goes. Yeah, that's who that is. Caliban is gonna be the Swedish chef. Because I think it's really tough to there's a lot that Caliban does that is ill-intentioned, but also there's a lot of problematic aspects of Caliban as a character, and I think like someone who is just fundamentally misunderstood is the root of Caliban, right? So we're gonna go with Swedish chef for that. We gotta get Rizzo in there somewhere.
Stefano.
Yeah, he could work for Stefano. Yeah. Let's call it that. That's perfect. It's a perfect. Okay. We don't need any other characters. None of them matter. All right, hello.
Hi, my voice is kind of dead. Sorry about that. Last year, I asked for recommendations for modern adaptations. Now I want to know which modern adaptation of any Shakespeare play is your favorite, and also where I can find it, preferably for free. Just for the record, mine is David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Much Ado. Love it to death.
Actually, I watched half of what was it called? The new one with the guy and the Sydney Sweeney. Anyone But You is a new Much Ado adaptation. I don't know if it's. I watched it on an airplane and I watched like half of it because we landed. And I haven't finished it. It was really cute though. It kind of like it pays homage to the Much Ado plot while also like winking at it a little bit. Like they do the overhearing and then they're like, do they think we're stupid? But it kind of like it follows that rom-com structure. It was pretty cute. I think my favorite adaptation is actually. Do you mean like modern retelling, like 10 Things, or just like any like version of the play?
Dealer's choice.
Yeah. The PBS Great Performances Much Ado About Nothing is the best Much Ado About Nothing that I've ever seen. Stars Danielle Brooks and a bunch of other folks who are incredibly talented. That one's great. It's free on PBS sometimes. Like they'll like rotate their great performances series through. I know I've talked a lot about Much Ado today. It's just the best, and it has the best adaptations, unlike Macbeth, which has zero good adaptations in movies. But yeah, Kenneth Branagh really does a great job with his Much Ado. Yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You is the perfect taming of the shrew, obviously. She's the Man is a fine 12th Night. I'm gonna get some shit for saying that. It's fine. It's very of the early 2000s. It doesn't age super well. But it is what it is. It's a silly little rom-com. That's what I got for you for
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah. Anyone But You is a fun new one, and we haven't had one of those in a while, which is really nice to have.
Hello. Have you heard online that Shakespeare was supposed to originally sound like the Southern American? Do you think it's better in British or Southern? Do you think?
Yeah, so I've seen that like Appalachian trend where people are like, "Ooh, Shakespeare sounds better in a Southern accent." And I can't do a Southern accent, so I'm not gonna do that to you all. But I do think there is some legitimacy in that. And if you've done any research into original pronunciation, if you haven't, search up Ben and David Crystal. They do some videos about like what Shakespeare would have sounded like in early modern England, and it's where we get all of those like forced rhymes, like "thy mantle good, what stained with blood." all of those things would have confound and wound. They all would have rhymed. In the Romeo and Juliet prologue, we've got love and prove, things like that would have rhymed because that original pronunciation accent was something between like a pirate and that like Appalachian kind of deep consonant heavy sound. So there's so much to be said for that. I think the only way that I'm kind of sick of hearing Shakespeare, honestly, is in that RP English, because nobody was speaking in received pronunciation in Elizabethan England except the Queen. And then it's we're gonna blame anyone. It's the Victorians. I actually was talking to a friend about this recently. He gave me a little bit more insight into that. In the Victorian era in England, there was like this English exceptionalism drive. They had to find something to make them important because they were losing a lot of wars and feeling pretty bad about themselves. So they took Shakespeare and put him on this pedestal. They made him the like elite class product of England, and they took over this like received pronunciation. To be or not to be, that is the question. Like that is bad, but so is a lot of Shakespeare, and it's because of that pedestal and that like elitism that they kind of pushed in Victorian times to make Shakespeare important, that took so much of the chaos and joy and like absolute insanity out of his work. So if I had to pick one of those two, I would pick a Southern accent because it feels more real to whoever's acting it if they're Southern than this like British received pronunciation. We hate the Victorians. Yes.
Last one from me. Can you justify for me why Sylvius is the best choice in Shakespeare to take on the mantle of Batman?
The thing, who really knows who Sylvius is? Sylvius is from As You Like It. He's in love with Phoebe. She hates him, but he's like, but I love you. And she's like, huge bitch to him, and he's like, I love you anyway. And that takes dedication. He is fighting for a cause he believes in, and that cause is justice. He's going to save the city. And honestly, if Sylvius wasn't in this play, think of the chaos that the ending of As You Like It would have had. We get this little shakeout. Phoebe is in love with Rosalind dressed as Ganymede, right? And Rosalind is like, hey, if I prove to you I'm someone else magically, then you have to marry Sylvius. So like at the end when we have Rosalind in Orlando, and then Audrey and Touchstone, and then Celia and Oliver. I don't know why I'm saying that. Then who does Phoebe have if Sylvius isn't there? No one. And the play doesn't shake out in a perfect little 4-person marriage, and that would just be unjust. An uneven ending, Batman would never allow it. Also, he definitely likes to dress in all black and hide in a cave. Swan, how are we doing?
We're good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
We got a couple minutes, so let's take one last question and we'll do a check-in with these.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so during quarantine, we all picked up some weird habits like making sourdough or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think
What
that?
was your weird habit?
What do you think that Lord and Lady Macbeth were doing as their like quarantine coping habit?
Oh, that's so good. Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, what were they doing during quarantine as their coping habit? Okay, so I really like this because I think Macbeth is such a stupid guy. I think I've said stupid so many times about so many men in Shakespeare, but am I
Where's the
wrong?
line?
So Lady Macbeth would start CrossFit. She would start like a really intense exercise regime, and she would make Macbeth do it. And he would be so like, yeah, he's a warrior and he's a really good warrior, like canonically in the play, but I bet he bitches about training all the time. So she'd be like jumping up on boxes and flipping tires, and she'd be like, keep up, Macbeth. And he'd be like, I'm not working right now. I don't want to do it. And he like kind of casually flip a tire, and he's like way stronger than he has any right to be. And she'd be like huffing and puffing and moving and like doing all these things and like trying really, really hard and like coming just a little short of how strong he is naturally, but being so annoyed that he doesn't want to practice it that she just ends up yelling a lot. So good. All right, Swan.
Okay.
So let's look through these, and if you want to kind of talk through your choices and the moments that you picked from this scene.
Sure. So I loved the camaraderie that was happening here, and also the
Through the peephole.
people. You see, it's over there. Easier to see. I can't tell which is easier, but yeah. I don't know how I can get it all framed in. But yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, I did it. Yeah. So I just also, again, this is so fun in getting to watch y'all eat up these scenes and play. Like, even just dropping into a scene, there was already so much fun between the two of you, and I just love that. So then we move on to our wall scene. See, she's the wall. But look cute. And then we have our grand lion entrance.
Yeah.
With the moon looking down. Enjoy. Oh, should they? And then the people being snarky. There's that. And then the final. Everything's okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. But we're fine. It's fine. We did it.
Swan, when you're making these, like, I don't want to ask you what goes through your head, because I don't know if I want to know. But as you're coming up with the action of these, because these are all very like still like what's the word? When you freeze, tableaus. They're all like these still tableaus, but they have so much movement. So how do you capture that energy in drawing, like in 2D drawing? There's how do you put so much movement and energy into that?
I'm gonna say the thing that everybody hates to hear, but it's practice. No, so my background is in animation, so a big part of that was all these big gesture things, and we would have 1 minute to draw a person in a gesture pose, and then they'd move, and we'd have to draw them in that pose. So it's a lot of also line of action, and how can I fill this full of movement and energy in that? And it's watching the people as they're moving, and in a small space with no practice, y'all were already lifting up your chest and puffing up or shrinking down or having these great exaggerated moments. So once again, you did all the work for me and I just drew as fast as I could.
That's so fun. I think I love the wall behind the wall, like just that brick, the brick background, and like it sets the scene so nicely. So fun. Swan, where can people learn a little bit more about the work you do, watch your streams, support you as an artist, buy all of your art, give you all their money that they've ever had?
So you can find me all across the internet at a Swan named Emily. Any place that there's a place to post stuff, I'm pretty much have that name. And if I'm not there yet, then bug me and I'll probably join there too. You can support me on Patreon. I have a bunch of different tiers. If you just want to kick me $1 a month to say, hey, I like your stuff, that's rad. I also have some tiers where you can decide what stickers I make. And you can also get them mailed to you. You can find many of those stickers over on my Etsy shop. Once again, all a Swan named Emily. I stream on Twitch, which is also a Swan named Emily, and I pop around to a few other channels. But I run the Doodle Crew, which is a group of my artist friends. We pick a prompt, we do an episode. All of those end up over on my YouTube, where you can also find all previous episodes of Sketching Shakespeare. And we do Doodle Crew in seasons, so we are midway through the 4th season now. Then we'll go on a little bit of a break, but all of that posts across the internet at Doodle Crew Draw. If you want to come and hang out in the Discord with a bunch of the artists, I run a Discord with all of those cool people there, and you can connect. And a lot of my artist friends are also incredibly amazing. I said that like I was also saying that, but I don't know. But they are cool. They do commissions, so if you want to get connected with other cool artists and send them money, I love that too, because they're my friends, and that makes me happy. That's me.
Yeah, I'm in that Discord. I don't do art. I don't even pretend to do art. I can't even draw lines. But that Discord is such a great community, and they're always helping each other and giving advice and sharing their art, which is really cool because you get to be in like the little art share channel and you see what people are doing, and you're just constantly like, wow, that's literal magic. I don't know how you do any of that. Practice, I guess, is the answer.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I refuse.
Magic.
Also, if you want to catch all those links for Swan, they are at this QR code. We've got a couple of these up here that you can take or scan. And for me, you can find me on the internet at this QR code as well. Protest Too Much is currently on a hiatus. It's just life and busyness and all of those things. But the fun part about the show is that there are tons of episodes that are evergreen. They don't matter to the timeline. So you can go back and listen to them at your leisure. I also run a nonprofit Shakespeare company called Walking Shadow Shakespeare Project out of Austin. And yeah, we are really committed to creating Shakespeare that is accessible and feels like this. It feels like we're coming together and having a party. It's not Victorian at all. No Shakespeare voice allowed with us. We want to hear what Shakespeare means to everyone who comes and works with us and what that looks like. And Shakespeare should be for everyone, but it takes a little work to get it there. And that's what we're trying to do. So we are online at WS Shakes. And we are starting to do some more digital content. We did a lot during the pandemic, but we're starting up again to do some digital content. So even if you are not in Austin, Texas, you can follow along with what we're doing and support us that way. So again, find both of us on this QR code up here. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you rate this panel on the app and give us feedback if you had a good time, if there are scenes you want to see next year, or if you want to see this panel next year. Make sure you give us a review. Make sure you support the Dragon Con charity. Make sure you have a great rest of your Dragon Con.
Thank you all.
I just said the word. What is that?